Empty Spaces was a great film about dealing with grief and grieving someone who you had a complicated relationship with, and learning more about them after they're gone. I thought it did a great job of showing us that, and I thought this film looked great. Had some beautiful shots, especially at the end on the boat. That was beautifully shot. The little effects that they had with her father appearing behind Aiden, and those effects were cool. I thought that was really well done. Her dream sequences were cool. We had some very emotional moments in this, emotional highs, and I thought the acting was really well done. I think with big emotional scenes like this, it can feel overdone sometimes, but I thought that the acting was really good, actually. And the sister dynamic was played out really well. Yeah, and the the end message of her deciding to live for someone's memory and living for someone after they're gone, I thought that was really great as well. So yeah, I enjoyed this film.
Empty Spaces. I think this was a masterclass in creating backstory and commitment by each of the characters to unpack the grief and each character's point of view on the loss of a loved one and how to make sense of it in the aftermath and the things left behind. I loved this piece because right from the beginning, we were invited into a very intimate space, which is the dream space, a place of our subconscious desires and feelings that kind of bubble up to the surface. And we got to see her very raw reaction to it afterwards, which I think was really a great invitation into what kind of piece we were going to be in. And I think was really important to align with this character too, to better empathize with her. I think there was, in terms of spaciousness of the film, Empty Spaces, nothing felt empty in any of the moments, in any of the silences. There was just the right amount of space throughout the piece to really let that grief sink in for us as the viewer and get to feel that kind of uncomfortability where you're right before a breakthrough, where the tension is so ripe in the environment that something's got to give. And it does. And we get to see that. And that lovely hope at the end of new possibilities and new ways of connecting, I thought was really lovely storytelling. Well crafted, well paced, and exceptionally acted.
Secrets are revealed in the light of their father's passing. He was never true to who he was, and the generational trauma was in fact passed on to his daughters, who now seem to only come around for funerals. They're going through their father's things as the secret is revealed, for all he seemed to keep of photos was of empty spaces, and signifying the emptiness he might have been feeling all this time, and the fact that he was gay and never got a chance to explore this part of himself. The daughters are acting out of anger and taking it out on their mother, questioning why she didn't just let it be. She doesn't answer them, for she's on her own journey of grief and healing, taking medicine to deal with her ailments. The youngest daughter reaches for his energy. She grabs a pair of his glasses, a significance to see through his mind, body, and spirit. She gets lost in the woods and she puts these glasses on, and for a moment she's taking him with her. And grief is complex, and with an unhappy family dynamic, you sort of just have to push through the motions and see what ends up bubbling up to the surface along the way. It might have seemed empty to him, but to his family, he took up an entire space in their lives.
The performances of Empty Spaces were so strong, so incredible, dealing with some pretty heavy subject matter, and getting to see how both of these sisters, plus their mother, are dealing with the loss of their father, who they didn't necessarily have a great relationship with. that scene of the main sister coming into the maybe a barn or like a workshop or a shed, and just picking up all of the bottles, because I guess she was trying to clean up his memory. But it was just that the tension was so present throughout the whole film, and the performances were they just felt so real. Really, really wonderfully done. And I love the way that they shot it as well. It was really beautiful. Yeah, that moment of the two sisters at night sitting together and smoking, I thought that was just beautiful to watch. And then the dream sequence as well was gorgeous. There was just so many things about this. It just felt like a very advanced film, like an advanced filmmaker made this. And just kudos to especially the performers who really knocked it out of the park. And I felt it. I saw them feel it, and it made me feel it too. And yeah, that's how I know you did it. Great job.
I thought Empty Spaces was really, really beautiful. It dealt with themes of grief and loss and love and mourning and how one should mourn. How do you mourn someone that you didn't have a perfectly happy relationship with all the time? I thought that was beautifully navigated because it is such a tricky and topical theme and subject matter. The settings were amazing. I think the landscape worked really well with the characters and sort of their storyline. The two sisters had such great chemistry, and the mother as well. I thought her performance was so layered and textured, and you could see sort of all of the three female protagonists battling their conflicting emotions to the father dying. It was moving and something I connected to personally, so I really enjoyed it.
Empty Spaces was one beautifully made. Each shot was picked with such purpose, and the cinematography was really, really good. That alone kind of kept me engaged with the film. But the other thing was just how each character managed to develop so well in the short 16-minute film. I felt like I really understood what each and every character was going through as they were all grieving together. And yeah, so I thought it was a beautifully made film, and I really enjoyed it.